Now at noon, a major setback for NASA's crucial test for Artemis 2. What this means for the mission. Plus,
I think they need to just be more careful, and us as drivers be more cautious around the schools.
Orange County school leaders set to take another look at e-bikes on campus. This is News 6 at noon.
Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live. You're watching News 6 at noon.
Thank you so much for joining us this noon. I'm Julie Broughton. It was another frigid morning, but finally we're starting to see a little bit of a turnaround as we head into the afternoon. Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos is here with a look at how things are going right now. It feels much nicer right now than it did even yesterday at this time.
That's the moment you said when you walked in. You're like, oh, Candace, let me report to you from the outside.
Yes.
It feels much nicer, and that's exactly what we're experiencing throughout the next couple of days. Warmer conditions. Temperatures right now in the upper 50s, already getting close to the upper to low 60s there in Titusville at 61. Now, compared to just 24 hours ago, we're running between about 6 and upwards of about 13 degrees warmer this afternoon than yesterday. But it was a chilly start. It's been a chilly stretch over the last 3 days. We've been back to back record-breaking temperatures. For instance, in Sanford, you can see on Sunday we dropped down to 23. That was actually the coldest February morning we've ever seen on record in Sanford. This morning, though, we woke up to a temperature of 30 degrees. We also had a triple threat here of record-breaking temperatures in Melbourne. Notice Monday morning we dropped down to 24. Just completely smashing the records there of 27 for the coldest February morning on record there in Melbourne. This morning, we also dipped down into the 20s. So it was still a very chilly start this morning, but we are going to be warming up a bit as we head into Wednesday. Up to about near normal, low 70s, but we are tracking the arrival of a new cold front. Could be packing some rain with it. We'll be talking more about the much needed rain in the forecast and a look into that weekend coming up in just a couple minutes.
Candace, thank you. A crucial test for NASA's Artemis 2 mission hits a major snag, and now NASA says its crewed liftoff to the moon is delayed for at least another month. NASA says a liquid hydrogen leak forced engineers to halt the countdown early during yesterday's wet dress rehearsal. News 6's Mark Lehman tells us what this means for the mission overall.
NASA almost immediately discovered the problem during yesterday's wet dress rehearsal. The fuel leak meaning the Artemis 2 rocket will remain on the launch pad until next month at the earliest, while engineers are working to troubleshoot the issue. It was a critical rehearsal for NASA's Artemis 2, and that test uncovered big problems for the rocket that was supposed to launch this weekend. With around 5 minutes left in the countdown, things were brought to a halt because of a spike in leaking liquid hydrogen. Engineers discovering the leak hours earlier and worked to troubleshoot the issue, but eventually the problem became too much of a concern to continue with the wet dress rehearsal. All of this is in preparation for an upcoming 10-day mission that will send 4 astronauts around the moon and deeper into space than any human has flown in more than 50 years.
We're now back in a world where we travel to the moon. And I think that the pictures we send back will be the new norm for anyone who wants to put them on their walls.
On top of the fuel leak, engineers also encountered a problem with a valve associated with the Orion crew module. NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman issuing a statement saying in part, with the conclusion of the wet dress rehearsal, we are moving off the February launch window and targeting March for the earliest possible launch of Artemis 2. As always, safety remains our top priority for our astronauts, our workforce, our systems, and the public. Agency leaders are set to give an update during a news conference at 1 this afternoon. As for the astronauts, they were set to arrive at Kennedy Space Center later today, but that's been pushed back, and they'll be in quarantine about 2 weeks out from the launch date, which is set for March. In Brevard County, Mark Lehman, News 6.
We're waiting to find out if a malfunction during this SpaceX launch out west could delay missions right here in Central Florida. It happened last night. The Falcon 9 was taking more Starlink internet satellites into orbit from California when the company says the rocket's second stage booster experienced a malfunction as it prepared for a turn. The rocket was able to deploy all 25 satellites to their intended orbit, but SpaceX says it wants to review all the data before returning to flight. Right now, the next Starlink mission launch from our Space Coast is set for no earlier than Thursday. We'll let you know what they decide. Developing in Lake County, we are learning a geologist is on site at the road that collapsed, prompting a closure. We're talking about Church Empire Road in Groveland. We brought you this as breaking news yesterday at 3. Lake County officials estimate the depression is 200 feet long, 90 feet wide, and 50 feet deep. They say the road is closed from Bear Lake Road to Edge Hill Drive. They tell us they expect results from the geologist to be back early next week. President Trump says Republicans should take over the voting process and nationalize it. The president continues to claim elections are being stolen despite having never been able to prove those claims in court. This latest statement comes after the FBI raided the Fulton County, Georgia election office looking into claims of voter fraud. CBS's Natalie Brandt has more from the White House.
With 9 months until the midterm elections, President Trump suggested Republicans should take over voting procedures in certain places, speaking on a podcast with former Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino.
The Republicans should say, we want to take over. We should take over the voting in at least 15 places. The Republicans ought to nationalize the voting.
During the interview, the president also made this claim without evidence about undocumented migrants.
These people were brought to our country to vote, and they vote illegally. And amazing that the Republicans aren't tougher on it.
Elections experts say research shows voter fraud is extremely rare, and the Constitution gives states the authority to run elections. Congress also has the ability to alter elections rules, but not the president.
Sean Morales Doyle of the Brennan Center's Voting Rights and Elections program says the president's earlier executive action aimed at tightening elections rules has been challenged in court.
He has repeatedly been blocked by courts who have ruled time and time again that he simply has no authority to run elections in this country.
Democratic Senator Mark Warner called the president's latest comments a pretext to conduct what he fears could be unprecedented federal intrusion into elections. Just last week, the FBI raided the Fulton County, Georgia Election Center, seizing voting records related to the 2020 election.
The only thing that they're going to find in those ballots is that President Donald Trump lost the 2020 presidential election.
The director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, in a letter to Congress, said she was on hand for the raid at President Trump's request. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Happening today, Orange County school leaders are set to take another look at e-bikes on campus before someone gets seriously hurt. The board is holding a workshop to tackle the growing safety concerns and decide what, if anything, needs to change. News 6's Stephanie Rodriguez shares what options are on the table.
The school district says it received several reports of unsafe incidents with e-bikes and scooters, leading to this discussion as it tries to find a way to keep kids and those around them safe.
Unfortunately, I think this probably does not rise to the level where it gets the attention it needs until we have several very, very serious accidents.
In November, the school board talked about e-bikes and scooters, breaking down the increased use and what the school board can do to mitigate the issues it's seeing with the surge of popularity. Some of the risk factors identified include lack of helmets, poor infrastructure to handle the bikes, rider inexperience and behavior, and motor vehicle collisions.
I think they're a little dangerous. I think they need to just be more careful, and us as drivers be more cautious around the schools because we do see a lot of kids in them, but they are dangerous in my opinion.
Parents like Lillian Sandoval want to see action taken.
Maybe have like a designated area for those kids to go to, like away from the cars.
The school board will also hold another workshop on the topic, talking about opportunities to increase safety, which could mean increasing awareness, training for students, outreach for parents, or even banning the e-bikes on campus.
Reckless driving, pulling out, blowing stop signs, disobeying all the, a lot of them don't even know the rules. So, yes, it's very scary.
For local cyclist Chuck Holman, education is crucial.
I believe they should have to take a course, and they should have to be a certain age and have a card of some type, just like an authorized motorist on the road.
During the last workshop, board members didn't support banning these scooters and e-bikes entirely, but they did discuss leaving decisions regarding regulations up to individual schools. Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
In Orange County, families will have one last chance to speak before the school board takes a final vote on potentially closing several schools. We've been telling you how leaders are considering shutting down 7 under-enrolled schools this year. Tonight, leaders will host a rural development workshop to discuss results from recent surveys. The meeting is part of a larger effort to address declining enrollment and budget shortfalls. It starts at 4:30. Staying in Orange County now, we have some voter registration deadlines to let you know about. The registration deadline for the Eatonville mayor and town council races is Friday. That race is set for March 7th. For the Maitland City Council and Oakland Town Council races, the registration deadline is February 9th. Both races are scheduled for March 10th.
Hey, I'm News 6 anchor Eric Von Anken, and we have a special Getting Results at Home today with the lovely Miss Jacqueline, who's 85 years young. She told us she needs help with everything. So we're going to try and help her with everything and show you a few house hacks along the way. That's coming up.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Florida Lottery.
Hey, I'm News 6 anchor Eric Von Anken. The handy newsman over there is Jeff, the crafty cameraman. And today's a little bit different. Remember, every single week we ask you to tell us about projects that you need help with. Well, Miss Jacqueline over here, she said she needs help with everything. So today we're getting results at home in Pine Hills, and the idea is to try and help her with everything. I don't think we need that today, Jeff, but we definitely need all this stuff.
Uncle Eric Von Anken, welcome to my house.
Thank you, Miss Jacqueline.
Please come in.
So nice to meet you. Thank you.
There are some vents in the ceiling that need to be cleaned.
I see one here. It's pretty
Yes,
dirty.
there are about 5 or 6 of them.
5 or 6.
No,
Okay.
6 of them. There is a hole at the bottom of the patio. Snakes, cockroaches come out of it.
We don't want rats and snakes coming out of it, especially not today.
I am 85 years old.
85 years old.
And I have severe osteoporosis arthritis. Right now I am in a lot of pain. I had to lie down.
Okay, we're going to let you lie down. We're going to get results. No, the paper towel, Jeff. This is some of my favorite stuff. It's actually called great stuff. It's foam in a can. For this project, the right thing to do would be to replace the entire door because of, that's where you're supposed to knock. Right, the rod that Jeff found inside the door. So instead, we're going to give this a shot. It's a kick plate, a cost-effective solution. It'll cover the rod, at least for now. How'd we do?
Very well. Very well. Thank you for your help. You did very well. Unfortunately, you are cannot handyman.
I think I'm a better TV news anchor than I am a handyman.
Yes, I like to see you when you are giving the news. God will bless you for your kindness.
You are so very welcome. If we can, we'll come back.
I will appreciate that.
I think we got results at Miss Jacqueline's home today. For now in Pine Hills, Eric Von Anken, News 6.
Oh, what great work there. All right, let's talk about the weather forecast. If you're trying to get around the house and maybe do some of those honey-do things on your list, the weather is going to be fantastic. Downtown Orlando Skycam right now, we're holding at 58 degrees. The winds, though, are calm. That's going to help continue to make conditions feel a little more comfortable, a little more pleasant compared to what we've been dealing with for the past 3 days or so. Temperatures out the door. Don't forget, you can always check out those temperatures and the latest update. The News 6 weather team is always updating our News 6 weather app. It is free to download. Just search WKMG wherever you get your apps from. But temperatures at this hour right now, upper 50s to low 60s. If you're running out for a quick lunch break or whatnot, or running those errands, the weather is going to be cooperating really no matter what you're planning on doing. Now, I do want to give you a quick heads up, though. We still have the potential for some frost. This is not going to be as widespread. And we're going to notice that the advisories are going to get lower and lower on the concerning level, where we had extreme cold warnings for the past couple of nights. We had freeze warnings. Then when they went down to cold weather advisories, and now we're down to a frost advisory. After that, I think we'll be done for advisories, at least for the next few days. So again, frost conditions across Marion, Sumter, Northern Lake, and inland Volusia County. That remains in effect tonight into early tomorrow morning. So if you live in those areas and you're a bit concerned about still the plants and whatnot, feel free to cover them once again, just for one more night. All right, now let's check on that hour-by-hour forecast for today.
Your forecast is sponsored by Strata Services.
All right, your highs this afternoon back into those mid-60s, which is running between about 8 to 10 degrees, kind of below that average mark. And then later on tonight, notice not as many spots at or below freezing. We are watching for some potential for some frosty conditions. We'll get pretty close in Marion County. Again, Northern Lake, the areas under that frost advisory will have the opportunity to develop some of that patchy frost. But area-wide, though, we will be staying kind of in those upper 30s to low 40s. So certainly a bit warmer than what we experienced for the past couple of mornings. Now, we are going to be tracking the potential for some patchy frost. Models are just kind of pinpointing areas where we could kind of get into those 30s. So some of our rural zones in Seminole, Orange, and Osceola County will have the opportunity to do so. So if your plants are already covered or they're already inside your house or in your garage, you don't want to take them out today, I wouldn't. Play it safe and start bringing them out by tomorrow and Friday. So let's talk clouds and rain futurecast, because I know the grasses look extra crunchy. Everything just looks kind of rough right now because of those freezing conditions. We're going to add some rain to the mix. So as you're heading out the door on Thursday morning, that's where we will have our best shot for rain. Our coverage ranging between about a 30 to 40%. You can see the cold front will be knocking on our door by 3 a.m. Scattered showers. We're not talking heavy amounts of rain, but there is that potential for some spotty, heavier downpours in the forecast by about the lunchtime hour. So as this front slowly moves from north to south, it will be bringing in some scattered showers. So you'll be swapping out the heavy sweaters early this week, maybe a raincoat or umbrella by Thursday morning. This is what rain chances look like for Thursday. Again, 20, it's upwards about 40%. Now, once that cold front moves through, we'll see another little cool down here. Will not be as intense as what we experienced, but then notice temperatures are going to be rebounding quickly right back into the 80s by the end of next week. So in the meantime, though, we will be dipping once again down into those 30s early Friday morning. But notice the weekend's going to be looking very nice. Highs back in the 70s.
Sounds good. Candace, thank you. Disney has announced a new CEO. Coming up, we'll tell you who it is and how he's already involved with the company. And coming up on News 6 at 6, text messages from a football coach causing controversy at a local high school. Tonight, we share what he said about a rival team that led to an investigation. Disney has named its parks chief, Josh D'Amaro, to succeed Bob Iger as the entertainment giant's top executive. D'Amaro has been Disney Experiences chairman, leading the efforts for the company's theme parks, cruises, and resorts. The decision on the next CEO comes almost 4 years after the company's choice to replace Iger went badly, forcing Iger back into the job. Only 2 years after stepping down as CEO, Iger returned to Disney in 2022 after a period of clashes and a weakening financial performance under his hand-picked successor, Bob Chapek. We'll be right back.
All right, as we take you here throughout the next couple of days, temperatures are back into the 70s by tomorrow. It will be short-lived. We've got another cold front. Just do be aware it could be kind of a soggier commute to work and school on Thursday morning, and then it looks like we'll be rebounding right back into the 70s for the weekend. So for those who need a nice thaw, we'll have a nice little stretch towards the end of the week.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Candace.
Sure.
And thank you for joining us this noon. Our next newscast is at 3. You can always check clickorlando.com for any updates. Have a great day, and I'll see you at 3.